everybody, Mac here. Welcome back to the show. I know it's been a while since I've done a regular review because I've been focusing on the advent calendar openings every night. And there hasn't been a whole lot this year that I've been into that's Christmas themed. Haven't really bought anything that's like a Christmas themed toy or a brick set or an action figure or anything like that. So there hasn't been much to review in the celebration of Christmas. And this most definitely is not Christmas. This actually would have been something better for Halloween. This is Maleficent. This is McFarlane Toys Maleficent from the Disney Mirrorverse. And I don't play the game, so I'm not 100% certain what it is, but if you're not familiar with what the Mirrorverse is, I believe it's one of those mobile app games where you can build a team from all of Disney's properties, all of Disney's characters. Because as a matter of fact, if we just go straight to the back right here, you can see this great artwork right here, this silhouetted picture that we have Mickey, Sorcerer's Apprentice, or Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey. We have the Genie from Aladdin, Sully from Monsters Inc., Belle from Beauty and the Beast, Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story. We got Jack Sparrow right there. Not 100% certain who that is. Not 100% certain who that is back there, but you can see what I mean, that you have all of these Disney characters right here. And also the actual cross-sell down here is Captain Hook. Now, I'm a big Peter Pan fan, but I originally wasn't going to get Captain Hook. Now I think I might get Captain Hook because this might be the only time I get a chance to get a Hook and Peter Pan to square off against each other. So, might be getting Hook too, but we shall see. Now, that's the back, and for some reason, Amazon decided to put a shipping label right there. On the side, we have some great artwork of Maleficent, ranged. Same thing over here, just different piece of artwork, Maleficent, ranged, and here we have Maleficent herself. Now, the reason I got this is because out of all of the Disney villains, Maleficent has always held a special place in my heart, and I can't quite understand why. I don't know if it's because she turned into a freaking dragon. I don't know if it's because I love her aesthetic right here. I'm not even really into the whole Sleeping Beauty story. Just something about Maleficent has always grabbed me. It's piqued my interest, and when I saw that there was a figure coming out, I had to snag her. So, with that out of the way, let's open the box and let's check out McFarlane Toys Disney Mirrorverse Maleficent. All right, here she is, Maleficent out of the box, and putting the tape measure to her, we can see that she is 7 inches tall to the top of her head, 8 inches tall to the top of her spiral horns. Before we get to anything else from Maleficent, you may see that there is some assembly required right here. You can see some holes in the base of her dress right here, and you can see some tabs on the train of her dress right here. And this is a soft rubber, so this will bend around things. You got one that goes in the side. You got one that pops right there and back. And then stretch. You got one that goes right on this side right there. And there you go. There is her train. So when you set her down, back her up a little bit so you can see. When you set her down, it just looks like it's trailing out right from behind her. Now, bringing her up close, I have to say, once again, McFarlane Toys knocked it out of the park with the face sculpt. I love this sculpt for her. This totally disinterested, I'm better than you and I know it look on her face. The paint apps are fantastic. The beautiful purple around her eyes, the yellow of her eyes with those black pupils in there, almost giving her like the dragon eyes that she has. The red lips, the pale skin, everything looks fantastic, and not just the sculpt of the face, but we have the sculpt of her headdress right here too, with the spiraled horns, just giving it that classic look of Maleficent, but also giving it like an updated look as well. I really like this. A figure like this is right in McFarlane's wheelhouse, and it's no surprise to me that he just nailed it. The company just nailed it with this. Even on the back here, you can see the continuation of like this dragon scale that she has going on. This dragon scale spine protector you can see poking out with the purpling and the coloring, the black scales right here, the black spikes coming down, the spiked collar to her dress, the dragon wings coming down from either side, the scaling of the front of her dress right here. Again, the dragon wing motif at her hips. This looks fantastic. And then you have like the dragon face in her breastplate right here. The pale skin of her arms. The straps of armor coming down the sides right there on the biceps. And then you have the gauntlets right here. And I love how they're open palm. These are really cool. I really like how they're open palm and you can see the skin of her hand. But on the back side, you can see how they conform to the hand and they kind of make talons, claws at the fingertips right there, which is fantastic touch. I really, really think that visually, aesthetically, he knocked it out of the park with this. Function-wise, let's take a look. First of all, the head will do a full 360 despite that collar, because this collar is actually a very soft rubber right here. You get some really good head tilt from Maleficent. She can look up, but not a lot, but she can really look down, bury the chin right there. Now the arms, the arms will come up. I got them up to 90 before. Come on. Come on. Where's it at? The arms will come up to just under 90. These do bend up and get out of the way, but there we go. A little bit at 90. These do get up and bend out of the way. They're very soft rubber right here. They're still a little heavy, so they may weigh the arm down eventually, but it's good to know that's there. There is no butterfly joint in there. If it wasn't for the arm pauldrons, she could do a full 360 spin. She has a bicep swivel. She has double jointed elbows with some really good travel. And you saw that she has the swivel hinge up and down. And then you can do that. And then you can do that and hinge in and out. Now, I'm sure you've been noticing that as I've been doing this, the cape is connected to her arms. So when her arms move, the cape moves. And that can be cool. You could get some really dramatic poses out of it. Sometimes it just really gets in the way of what you're trying to do. So I think that is going to be a mileage may vary. Me, that kind of annoys. But like I said, I could see the potential for getting some really dramatic poses, dragon wing poses out of her if you wanted to, if you're into that kind of thing. I don't know. For me, I think I would have rathered it just be sort of attached to the dress somehow, or not there at all, or just be a cape. I'm not entirely sure. Now, at the waist, she does have a waist. She can crank forward. She can really crank back, but then you can start to see the gapping up front. She has some decent side to side, and of course, she has a waist twist. She can go all the way around, okay? This is nothing. This is a solid piece of plastic. She has no legs. She has no articulation below the waist. It's just this hefty piece of plastic right here. And because there's no legs and because there's no feet even, something else that's unique about her that I haven't seen from the McFarlane toys recently is that there's no peg holes, which means she is the only McFarlane figure that I have that hasn't been a Build-A-Figure or a collect-a-build that doesn't come with a figure stand. I found that really interesting because I thought for sure he would have just thrown one in. I mean, he threw one in with Man-Bat, he threw one in with Bane, he threw one in with Mudbutt Clayface. I really thought he was going to just throw one in anyway because he throws one in with all of his figures. But nope, no feet, no figure stand. So, like I said, the wings can be a little annoying, and they do get in the way of the arms, and you can see that I'm having a hard time getting this, there we go, getting that one to come down. See right there where it's sort of flawing already? Right there. I don't know if that's stress from me just playing with it and it's going to rip now, or if it came like that. I don't know. Like, if you pose her right with the wings and now this long train, like, it looks really good. But I feel like no matter what you do, this is the only pose that is going to look right. arms sort of out to the sides a little bit, showing off the wingspan. Yeah. And something else that I just realized, I like the gradient. I forgot to mention this. I like the gradient in the wings. How you can see that it starts with this dark purple and then lightens as it gets to the wingtips. I really like that. Now that McFarlane is doing these dragons again, man, wouldn't it be cool if he came out with a dragon version of Maleficent? Wouldn't that be awesome? Okay, she may not come with a figure stand, but like the DC Multiverse figures, the Disney Mirrorverse figures come with a collector's card as well, and Maleficent has hers. You can see it says Maleficent, ranged, which I'm assuming that means ranged attack, because then when you flip it over on the back, not only do you have her name and her bio down here, but you also have her stats, which you can see combat is at an 8, defense is at a 2, health is at a 6. Not sure what that magic power maybe. I don't know. Not sure what that yellow symbol means, but this is kind of, I'm not a big fan of Disney, but this is kind of making me interested in the game right now. And then we have her staff, which I really like the staff. And weirdly enough, I think I have this staff in Elder Scrolls Online. This looks very familiar to me. I feel like I have one. If it's not exactly like this, it's really close to this. And I like how you sort of have this dragon motif thing going on here with the head and the wings swept back. Or maybe it's supposed to be a dragon's claw with like every sorcerer has a gem right there in the middle. I like the crooked nature of it and the two-tone color with the green. And then you sort of have this spear dragon's tail end going on right here. So it definitely carries that dragon motif going that she has. And I really like this. I like the look of this. It fits very easily into her hand. That her gripping hand right here is a very rubbery hand. So the fingers will curl out so you can get it in her grip. And once she has it, she has a decent grip on it. But it's the problem of like the wings. She doesn't really have much that she can do with it and look natural other than maybe something like this. And that's kind of boring. Oh. See? And now for size comparisons. Here she is beside Eridan Brioc Glass and Ciri from The Witcher 3 The Wild Hunt. I'm really glad they made her taller than they do most female figures. You can see how much taller she is than Ciri, and you can see that she's pretty much on the same eye level as Eridan over here. Here she is beside Jada Toys, Universal Monsters Frankenstein's Monster, and Lady Death from Marvel Select Thanos 2-pack. Here she is beside Lanyard Toys, City Hunter Predator, and Xenomorph Drone. Here she is beside Jazzware's Spartan Collection, Master Chief, and Noble 6. And finally, here she is with Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Series Baroness, and me from the Valaverse Action Force Steel Brigade. So you might find this hard to believe, but I am a little disappointed in this figure. I love that it's Maleficent. I love that I have Maleficent in my collection, but the lack of articulation from the waist down and the hassle that is the articulation with her arms because of those wing capes that are hanging off of it. It's kind of, well, let's put it this way. McFarlane figures tend to fight you on their articulation to begin with. We all know that. She is by far the most frustrating that I've had to work with. With nothing going on from the waist down, you're always just going to get like a standing pose. She has some waist articulation, but if you overuse it or you don't use it correctly and you try and get her like leaning forward, it just looks ridiculous because that cone, that plastic cone that is her dress is always just going to be planted right there. The dragon wings coming off of her arms look really cool when it's in the right pose, but outside of a handful of poses that you can do with her, it's just not going to look right. And forget any kind of raising of the staff, holding it up over your head, pointing it at somebody. It's just not going to look right. And when you're trying to move the staff, you're going to be fighting those wings again anyway. I kind of wish those wings would have been made detachable. They're not, they're glued in place. I tried it while the camera was off, and I was afraid that I was going to rip them out. Like I said, I might try another Mirrorverse figure. I might try Hook, because if I get Hook, then they'll probably bring out Peter Pan, and then I can have Hook and Peter Pan on my shelf and not worry about this Mirrorverse thing. Yes, they're going to be updated versions of those characters, but I can kind of deal with that. Now, if you're a fan of Disney, I think you're absolutely going to have a blast with this. I think it looks great. I think it is a great modern interpretation of Maleficent. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I absolutely love how she looks. I love the aesthetic. I love that dragon scale aesthetic that she has going on. I love the updated look that they gave her, and I think McFarlane, sculpt-wise, paint-wise, color-wise, knocked it out of the park with this one. It's just articulation that really leaves me disappointed. So that is our look at McFarlane Toys Disney Mirrorverse Maleficent. Don't forget to tune in later tonight for the next opening of our Advent calendar. If I upload this when I think I'm going to upload this, I think we'll be at day 10. Don't quote me on that. Just wait for the video to go live tonight. So until then, my friends, play well, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, thank you for watching.